Oh my gosh, I'm back. It's streaming time. Oh my god. Oh, how have y'all been? I hope y'all are doing well. I don't know if I have like special Tsuchinoko powers or something, in like a bad way, but it kind of feels like I manage to summon storms all the time, and that's unacceptable. I made a comment just in case, but there is an enormous thunderstorm. Like, I've had multiple alerts on my phone just being like, oh, be careful, it's gonna be really windy. And I'm like, oh, great. The one thing that reliably messes with my internet connection. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I know, the thunder gods, it's completely unacceptable. I'm like, I don't know, instead of being like a Yuki Onna, you know, like creating snow, I'm like, I guess an Arashi Onna, like a storm woman. I just create storms all the time and I hate it. I'm a Quetzalcoatl weather snake god. God, there's gotta be something like that going on. But hopefully, fingers crossed, it won't be a problem. You might just hear some rumbling every once in a while as this enormous storm rolls through. But I have my phone right next to me just in case I need to dip for any reason. But they didn't think there was gonna be any tornadoes, so it should be fine. I'm gonna knock on wood. I should be fine. But yeah, anyway. I hope you all are doing well. They're rumbling. You control titans as well. God, I don't know. Maybe I'm much more powerful than I thought. But yeah, no, I agree. I would like Thor to chill today. That would be fantastic. 'Cause I have 2 streams. I have 2 of them. I'm very excited. I have so much. I've been doing. I'm so excited. I have so many pictures to share with y'all. So this last week was my very first convention appearance ever, which is really cool. And I also very sneakily slithered my way over to San Francisco. I didn't have to do that. The nice thing about being a Vtuber is that you can call in virtually to conventions all over the place. I don't have to physically go places, but I did. Bear and I physically went to San Francisco because we thought it sounded fun. It would be a great opportunity to go and check out San Francisco. Bear had never been before. And also, I thought it'd be really fun to meet some other VTubers and just talk with some folks, so that would be good. Magical. I mean, you could take a plane. You know, that's fair. I don't have to slither the whole way there. But yeah, hello everyone. I figure we'll hop into this and, you know, if we have any interruptions, we'll just roll with it. No, worst case scenario, my internet goes completely down and we just reschedule this. Hopefully that won't happen, but you know, I gotta prepare for the worst since apparently I'm just gonna have just a rumbling thunderstorm coming by, so snacks on a plane. I was indeed on a plane. Oh man, it was good, y'all. Yeah, you know, I think I was rather clever about not telling anyone that I was going on vacation because then the bounty hunters didn't know where I was, so. Anyway, they're chasing after Miyu right now, so I think I should be safe for a little while longer. Matsu. I'm accepting of this mother-loving snack on a mother-loving plane. That's wonderful. That's fantastic. Perfect. Okay, but yeah, let me talk about what we did in San Francisco. Because there was a bunch of fun things we did. For one thing, I figured I'd give like a brief bit of like history on like what part of the country this is, because even if you live in the United States, it's a big country and you might never have been to San Francisco before, but I know a bunch of you don't live in the United States, and so I figured I'd talk a little bit about the geography and kind of some of the things that we ran into there. So this was kind of the best like summary of regions in the US that I could find. I know that there's like a couple other ways that you can kind of divvy up the states, but I think this is a pretty good job I think this image does the best job of actually putting stuff together. So you've got kind of 4 primary regions in the United States. You have the West, which is just like this enormous block. You have, inexplicably, the Midwest. I don't know why they don't just call it like, I don't know, the middle. Or like, I don't know, the North Middle. I don't know. But they call it the Midwest, even though it's in the middle of the country, which is very funny. And then there's the Northeast, which is on like way up over there. Far on the eastern side, and then the South, which is just like this block of states that are like, half of them aren't even like south, right? Like they're in the middle of the country. I don't know. Oh man, that's true. They could have gone with Central, but they decided that Central America was gonna be like below. So I don't know. They went with Midwest instead, which is which is wild. So I live in the Midwest. I live in this strange block in the middle of this country that is called the Midwest for some reason. Excuse me, not some region. It is a region. But so back in November, I went to Anime NYC, which is in the Northeast. So that was all the way on one side of the country, in New York City. And then this time I went to Offkai Expo, which is on the complete opposite side of the country. In California. So in the last like year, I have been to like opposite coasts of this country, which is kind of insane. I don't know that I'm going to be traveling nearly this much. This was kind of like a big, we haven't traveled for a while. We're actually gonna go for it. But yeah, so this is kind of like roughly where these places are. Thankfully being in the middle of the country is nice because I'm like roughly equidistant from these places when I get on a plane, so that's good at least. So a couple of things about this part of California. So there is, in addition to like these big blocks, like West, Midwest, Northeast, South, there's like smaller descriptions of individual places, kind of depending on like what the weather is like and things like that. So the area where Offkai is in San Francisco, it's part of like a subcategory of the Western United States, which is called the Pacific Northwest. So the Pacific Northwest, it includes portions of California, Oregon, and Washington. It actually doesn't include all of those states. It's a very specific region that's right along the coast. And it actually also includes parts of Canada. So it's these 4, like, I guess 3 states in 1 province. Some of the big cities that you might know from these areas are Vancouver, Seattle, Portland, and San Francisco. So here's the thing, there definitely is some contention about San Francisco being considered part of the Pacific Northwest, but as someone who has spent some large amounts of time in this region, I'm going to put my tail down. I'm gonna officially claim that San Francisco is included in the Pacific Northwest for a very specific reason. I will show that to y'all soon. But yeah, so it's this part of both Canada and the US. And the reason why it's kind of grouped this way is that the climate in these areas is very, very similar. So it's right off of the Pacific Ocean, which is generally pretty warm. So these areas stay like at a fairly decent temperature most of the year. I know that people who live there will disagree with me. They'll be like, but it gets so cold sometimes. And yes, I know it does get kind of close to freezing in the winter. That is true. But it's not nearly as cold as the rest of the country. And it's not nearly as cold even as like the rest of these states. Like there's entire portions of Washington and Oregon that get actually like bunches of snow. But that's just not so much the case in these areas. So the biggest thing about the Pacific Northwest, as someone who lived there for a while, is that it's very overcast. It is almost always covered by clouds. You don't see the sun very much. When you do, it's a wonderful day. It's a fantastic day. You go out, everyone's outside, super excited. They're just trying to soak up as much of the sun as possible because it's there. It's finally there. It's not raining. It's not overcast. It's not foggy. It's terrible the rest of the time, but it's actually sunny. So yeah, it's depending on like which, like how far north you are, in Vancouver and Seattle and Portland, this overcast weather tends to be rain, whereas in San Francisco, it'll be cloudy and there will be a lot of fog everywhere. So that's kind of what we were expecting. We were expecting that like it was going to be fairly overcast because Bear and I used to live pretty close to Seattle. And so we're like, okay, we're prepared for this. I brought our raincoats. I brought like some long sleeved shirts. I brought a couple of short sleeved shirts just in case. But, you know, I was kind of anticipating it would be like, you know, like a decent temperature, but maybe a little windy and everything. Yeah. It was completely sunny during our trip, which was incredible. I was completely stunned by that. It was not a single cloud in the sky. The temperature outside was like 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 degrees Celsius, which was really wonderful. It was perfect. Like, that's kind of like the ideal temperature, right? Like, you go out and it just feels good on your skin. It doesn't feel like you're burning up to a crisp. It's incredible. So yeah, that's kind of wonderful. And here's the thing. I shouldn't talk so poorly of the overcast weather. Here's the thing. I actually really liked living in Washington. It was really nice. It was just really expensive. It was really expensive to live in Washington, but I did like it. You get used to the overcast weather. You find ways to like pretend that the sun is still in your life. But like, it's not terrible, but you do celebrate when the sun does come out because it's very nice and it doesn't happen very often. And it happened while we were in San Francisco, which was amazing. So yeah, we had incredible weather the entire time. I'm glad that I packed some short sleeve shirts because all of our sweaters would not have been good in this weather. So yeah, a couple things real quick. I know I did this a little bit when I talked about New York, but I wanted to shout out something specifically. If you ever happen to go to San Francisco and want some like general advice, I would say when you go to a big city, not just San Francisco, but New York City and things like that, you should always like have a close eye on like your belongings and things. Like don't like don't just like leave your stuff places and things. You know, it's always good to hold on to stuff, but no one is going to like, I don't know. I've been to places where like people will stick their hands in your pockets to like try and steal your wallet and stuff. San Francisco is not one of those places. Neither was New York City from my experience. But the thing that you should know before you go to San Francisco, and this is only relevant if you're going to rent a car for whatever reason, or if you own a car in any capacity, don't leave anything in your car. There's a bunch of signs all over San Francisco being like, please don't leave anything in your car. People will break in, people will grab stuff. For whatever reason, there is a really big problem with car break-ins in San Francisco, to the point that people are extremely open about it. So, which is great. Like they don't want you to have issues with it. So yeah, if you're going to visit San Francisco for any reason, don't ever leave anything in your car. Like, don't leave USB cables, don't leave anything else. That was also something in Seattle that I never did. Like, don't leave anything that looks like it could be stolen in your car. Yeah, exactly. Don't give folks a reason. Exactly. This is kind of just general advice anyway, but like, I don't know, depending on where you live, some parts of the world and like certain areas, like it might not matter if you leave stuff in your car, but like big cities and especially San Francisco, don't leave anything in your car. That being said, you don't need to rent a car. There's a bunch of public transportation in San Francisco. There's a bunch of trams and buses that go everywhere, which is awesome. They have these really adorable old-timey trams, which are so cool. Like, they're so cool. They have like, these fun little tracks that are really old, like almost 100 years old, that just run through the city, which is great. These really charming trams. They do have a new subway system as well, that's like much more modern. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff. It's really nice. So yeah, you don't have to rent a car. You can get around without it, which is really nice. We did a lot of walking and, for me, slithering around. We checked out Chinatown, which is a neighborhood in San Francisco which has existed for a long time. It's where a lot of Chinese immigrants settled down when they first showed up to the United States. In fact, San Francisco boasts that this particular Chinatown is the oldest in the entire country, which is crazy. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Chinatown later because we spent a lot of time just walking around and eating street food. But yeah, it's good. It's very good. But yeah. Yeah, exactly. Trams are great. You don't have to be in a tunnel. That's the thing. Like, subways are very useful, but it is always a little unsettling when you're like going very fast underground. I also tend to prefer trams or trains that are on the surface a little bit. It's also nice because you get to like see the city and see the views and stuff. It's awesome. It's super cool. Okay, so we did a lot of sightseeing when we were there. And one of the best things that we got to see, oh God, and it was perfect because it was so sunny and things too. There's a couple of places that are right around the bay, where like you can go out and see boats and you can see the water and things like that. But Pier 39 has these floating docks where sea lions end up showing up, which is amazing. I love them so much. They are the funniest, most belligerent creatures. Like, they just, regardless of the weather, they're just gonna show up here, they're gonna flop on top of these boards, and they're just going to bark really loudly at each other for just hours and hours and hours. Even if they don't need to, even if no one is like getting in the way of their spot, they're just gonna bark at each other. You can hear them from a block away. They are so crazy loud. When we were going up to the pier, I could hear them and I got so excited. I just started... I slithered so fast here. Oh my God, we got so many pictures of them. So yeah, this is what they look like zoomed in. Also, Bear brought his actually good camera, so we're gonna have decent photos, which is exciting. Some of my photos of like food are okay, but... But thankfully we have actually high quality photos of some of the other things. Yeah, exactly. I had a really hard time not just going or back at them. It's contagious. You listen to them barking at each other. It's so funny. So yeah, this is what this looks like. These are like wooden docks that are just hanging out, and the sea lions can hop onto it, and then they just flop on top of each other. And if they feel like another sea lion is getting in their face, they'll just bark at each other. So like, you know, all the time, just constantly. But yeah, oh, you know what? That is a fantastic question. So, there is a slight difference between seals and sea lions. So seals are like really big and very round. Like, proper seals are very round. They're very torpedo looking. And when they come onto the shore, they can't move super well because like... They're weighed down too much by all the blubber that's trying to keep them warm in the water. So like they end up doing this really funny like worm move. They just kind of like flop forward awkwardly, which is really funny. Whereas sea lions actually have like slightly more developed fins, so they can actually stand up. In fact, let me show you. Here, this is actually a good way of showing it. So this is an enormous sea lion. that was just like staking its claim on this part of the dock. But yeah, it makes it so they can actually like move a lot faster on land. So if you've ever seen like elephant seals and things like that, they're a little closer as far as like how they look to sea lions. And yeah, it's cool. If you compare them side by side, like sea lions can get really big and they can also move fairly fast. Which is kind of incredible. But yeah, no, look at how huge this one is. We took so many pictures of this one because he was just enormous. You could see all the other sea lions are giving him a wide berth. They're like, nah, I'm not picking a fight with that one. Or at least that's what I would say. But this one decided to start barking at him immediately. Look at how far back he's craning his neck. He's just like, or, this is my spot. But it's not his spot. It's the big one's spot. The big one is about to flop down, and you just can't compete with that. He's like twice your size. Anyway, I stood for like 10 minutes straight just laughing at this. It was so damn funny. It was amazing. They just are so belligerent all the time. And there was a brief moment where I was like, you know, I wonder if they could build like more docks, because then the sea lions would have more room. And then Bear pointed out that they've done that already. Like, that's why there's so many of these docks already. And what happens is, instead of like having a better distribution of sea lions on the docks, you just get more sea lions. Like, every time you build a new dock, it's not like it solves the problem. You just get more sea lions that hop up onto it. I don't know. I'm sure at some point you could create enough docks that all of the sea lions would be satisfied, but instead they're like, nah, we're just gonna keep showing up and we're gonna keep hopping on this. So if you build it, they will come. Exactly. That's just the whole deal. They just show up and they hang out and they just bark at each other constantly. Even when they're perfectly happy, like flopped on top of each other, they're still barking at each other. It's super funny. Anyway, this was with my garbage phone. This was the selfie that I took with some of the barking sea lions. So good. Look at him in the background with his silly mouth. Oh, it's so good. Exactly. Angie is the natural state of them. I just couldn't stop laughing. It was amazing. Oh, they're just so angry all the time. But here's the thing. They're not actually like getting into fights. They're just barking at each other. And then they give up. And then they just flop down. Or they hop back into the water and they swim around for a little bit and then they hop back on again. It's kind of amazing. So anyway, I love the sea lion so much that Bear bought me this plush that I love it so much. It's actually, it's on my desk right now staring at me. Hello, Mr. Sea Lion. How are you doing? He's perfectly belligerent looking too, which is amazing. It has this little San Francisco that's on his rear end, which is fantastic. But I love how angry he looks. It's so good. Every time I look at him, he's perfectly angry. It's a perfect representation. It's incredible. So anyway, that was instantly one of the highlights of the trip, was getting to listen to sea lions arguing with each other and getting extremely just extremely angry for no reason. It was just ridiculous. But you know, the stare of rage. It's just perfect, right? It's so good. Oh my god, Sea Brian. Oh, that is a good name for Mr. Sea Lion. I had just been calling him Mr. Sea Lion. Mr. Sea Lion. Sea Brian. Oh, that's too good. Oh, but yeah, so that was fantastic. Also, so at Pier 39, they had a bunch of like shops along the way, and they also had this carousel. And I want you to look at this sea lion. Here they have, just like chilling as one of the rides. Also, that panda behind him is terrifying. But the sea lion is just, he's staring into your soul. He knows everything. He's omniscient. He sees all. You know, the panda face. Oh god. Oh, Seer, thank you for the super chat. Did you bet on which sea lion would win? Here's the thing, I think we all know. Like, it's a pretty easy bet. You just bet on the really big one. Like, all the other ones were like shying away from the really big one. So I feel like that's a pretty good one. But here's the thing, he like wasn't picking a fight. He was just like, I'm here. I'm gonna be flat now. I'm gonna lay down on this dock and have a great time. Oh god. Oh, the sea lions were great. Also, San Francisco clearly recognizes that the sea lions are great because they have decorations of them everywhere, which is so good. This was a statue that we found as we were walking around, which was super good. This is a Yumie for scale. So you can see how big this thing is. It was enormous. I took a picture next to it and it was too big. I don't know, I guess like some of them get this big. We saw the enormous one that was hanging out, so yeah, I don't know. The seal looks like it's judging your clothes. It doesn't understand the appeal of sweaters. It doesn't get it. I can't blame it. It lives in the water all the time or on a deck, just complaining at other sea lions. Why does Sea Brian, the largest sea lion, not simply eat the others? I don't know. That is the question, I think. Apparently, he was just happy to lay down. He didn't want to do anything else. He just wanted to hang out in the sun. I don't know. That was the thing that cracked me up the most is it was such good weather. And so I don't know if they were like even... I have to imagine that even if it's like really overcast, they're still going after each other. They're still picking fights all the time. Damn, can't believe Yumi got beaten by a sea lion statue in height. That's so sad. It's just accurate is the thing though, right? It's just accurate. God damn it. Damn you though. Oh god. I can't wait to show you all this standee of me later too. It's oh man. But yeah, no, the sea lion is taller than I was. Also, I love how you can tell that Bear took this picture because like you can see that he's like roughly as taller, like taller. It's like a top-down view of this. If I took a picture of this would look very different. Oh man. Okay. Oh, that's right. Oh, other fun things that we did at the pier. To distract from how horribly short I am. Oh god. There's this tiny little aquarium that's also at the pier, which is wonderful. In hindsight, I feel like maybe we should have taken a day trip down to the Monterey Bay Aquarium, because that's one of my favorite aquariums I have ever been to, and it's really gorgeous. But we were so busy the whole time. I'm glad we got to go to an aquarium at all, because I love aquariums a whole lot. But yeah, I thought this was super cool. So this is a type of jellyfish that just lays flat on its back, which is really cool. It's a Cassiopeia jellyfish. So it like gets to its full size. The jellyfish, when they first start out, they are actually little polyps that are stuck to the ground, and then they like develop the big like ovular medusa, and then they will normally like at that point break off from the ground and start floating through the water. But these ones just kind of like developed their medusa, and then they just like blip, just like hung out. They're just chilling. So yeah, this was super cool. We walked by and it was just a bunch of jellyfish that were just like wiggling their little they're not arms. They're I was gonna say, hold on, I'm gonna get the proper term for y'all. They're stingers, excuse me. There's a more proper term than stingers. But yeah, Cassiopeia like the star, indeed. But it's cool. God damn it, you. But can these jellyfish swim in the night? as it turns out, yes indeed. It turns out that all jellyfish can swim at night, even if there is an anime that has a title that says that isn't the case. I still really like that anime, by the way. I just think it's hilarious that, like, the core conceit of the show is like, but jellyfish can't swim on their own, and they can't swim at night, and I'm like, but they can, though. I still like the show. Even if that's not true. Man in the moon. I think the scientific term is vibing. Yes, indeed. They are just vibing. Legs. Death noodles. Yes, the scientific the scientific term is indeed death noodles. We also got to see some other jellyfish, which were just beautiful. I don't know, jellyfish are really cool. They're like one of these awesome organisms that just kind of like, as you all correctly said, just kind of vibe their way through life. They don't really have like brains, so they just are acting on motor impulses. If something touches one of their stingers, it'll automatically contract. They're just kind of like living, chilling, floating through the ocean, doing crazy stuff. Jellyfish can't swim on their own, but they can. Roll credits. Oh my god, a jellyfish student would be so cool. I do want to have more like ocean-themed Blue Archive characters. That would be awesome. That would be so cool. Man, you know, Mr. Oreo, that's true. Jellyfish do collapse very quickly on land. They are not meant to be on land. They are meant to be in the water. Motor impulse, but I don't see any motorcycles. Oh, and thank God, too. I heard one of them earlier, but the storm has scared them away. So maybe it scared away all of the motorcycles from the jellyfish, too. Oh, Jimmy! Oh my God, you crazy people. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. They are brothers in arms. I love being brainless. That's just it, right? There's some good things to take from jellyfish. They're just vibing. They're just enjoying life. Just floating through the ocean, occasionally like doing nice little movements, going through, catching random stuff. It's good. It's very, very good. Thank y'all. That's very kind. I appreciate that. God damn. Y'all are very sweet. Always make sure to take care of yourselves first, but I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. I also... Okay, so they, in addition to having sea creatures, they also had, like, sea-adjacent creatures, which is totally fine. I'm totally fine with that, even if it's an aquarium. And they had this California toad, and I have to read you all this description of this California toad. And I'm sorry, because those of you who are members, who are in the Discord server... have already suffered through this description, so I'm sorry. I'm going to inflict this upon everyone else now. Here's a fun toad fact for y'all. They're not winking at you. Do you know why toads blink when they swallow? They don't have any bones between their eyes and their mouths. So when they swallow, their eyes sink through openings in their skull and help push food down their throats. Which is the most horrifying thing I have learned. I don't know how I didn't know this. I don't know, but there's something so deeply horrifying about the fact that they're like, oh yeah, no, the eyes are just helping them to swallow. No big deal. It's totally fine. You're like, oh, I didn't realize that's what they were doing. It's kind of terrifying. So anyway, my apologies. I'm sorry for inflicting this upon you. Oh, man. Oh, Sierra, that's a good point. Sea students. Isn't there canonically a maritime academy? Yeah, I think y'all are right. I think it is the Odyssey Maritime Academy. I feel like that's correct. I feel like that's right. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. It's a fun toad fact. Oh my God, Isaac, when you have to watch your weight. Oh, that's so terrible. Can you imagine if the frog Argus, excuse me. My apologies, Toad. You're not a frog, you're a toad. Can you imagine if the toad eyes like turned downwards? That's a thing that like sharks do, especially sharks that have to attack things really quickly. So like great white sharks, in order to avoid blood and like other things getting in their eyes when they attack things, they actually roll their eyes like back into their skull. So that's why whenever you see a great white shark, like a video of them attacking something, their eyes are always pure white. It's because they've just rolled them back. That's another fun fact for you. That's why whenever you see great white sharks, it looks like they have just pure white eyes when they're attacking things. It's because they're trying to avoid stuff getting in their eyes. Not terrifying at all. Oh man. Oh my god, y'all are so sweet. I'm glad that you have enjoyed this horrifying toad fact. Oh god. So yeah, anyway, the more you know. I learned that for the first time at this aquarium, which is extremely unsettling. So I'm glad y'all enjoy my animal facts. That as soon as I saw this, I'm like, oh my god, I have to share this with them, even though it will scar them forever. Oh man. Thought it happened because they're demons. Yeah, that's the thing. Sharks are a very important part of their ecosystems, but they are also a little terrifying, especially great whites. Oh my god, especially off the coast of South Africa, there's a bunch of great white sharks that have like taught themselves to jump after seals. So like after like seals and penguins, and they'll like get so high off of the water, it's crazy. They'll just like, because they're trying to catch them as fast as possible, because a lot of these animals that they're hunting will try to like jump out of the way. So they'll just go as quickly as they can. They'll like rocket out of the water with whatever it is that's in their mouth. And it makes for some really cool nature photography, but like it's also kind of terrifying. So yeah, anyway, if you ever want like really cool but very unsettling footage, go look up South African great white sharks, and they do some crazy things. Fund for brain bleach if anyone needs it. Thank you, I appreciate that. Fund for brain bleach all around. Yeah, I agree. TJ, our resident South African, be safe. Don't go out where the great white sharks are. You should be okay. There's a surprising number of like places that have great white sharks, which is kind of incredible. Like most of the time, sharks don't want to eat people. I want to like reassure you folks that like sharks don't think that people taste very good. So like a lot of times, even folks who get attacked by sharks will often not be like consumed by them, because shark will be like, wow, that tasted terrible. I don't want that. That wasn't the nice blubbery thing that I normally eat. Bad. Ew. Too many bones. Get that out of here. But unfortunately, that doesn't mean that having, you know, a shark bite into you would not be very bad. So always, if you're going to go out into the ocean, be very conscientious about like looking for any alerts if there are sharks. The best thing you can do to avoid sharks is not being in the water when they're the most active. Sharks will show up kind of like right around twilight hours. So either in the evening when the sun is going down, or in the morning when the sun is coming up. They don't want to most of the time hunt in like complete darkness, but they also have a much better time of hunting when it's slightly dark. So sharks are the most active at dawn and dusk. That's Kelch, that's true. You could just avoid water. That's also true. Just avoid the water completely. That's also an option. But a lot of beaches will like tell you if there's sharks in the area. And the other nice thing about sharks is that they have this big fin. It's like pretty easy to tell. If you're like in a shallow enough area, like most sharks are just not going to be able to get to you. And the ones that can are going to be tiny, and they're just kind of like hanging out. They're like, what's going on? What you doing? And they'll like poke you. with their noses because they're like, what's happening over here? So yeah, anyway. Oh man. The other thing too is there is a very good reason why people who surf are the most likely to be attacked. It's because, I mean, if you think about it, when you're laying down on a surfboard, like from a shark's perspective, you look like a seal. Like they can see that you have this big fat body and you have these little arms. So they're like, that's a seal. And then they go for it and they're like, oh, wait, that wasn't a seal. I didn't like that very much. So if you're going to go surfboarding in any capacity, make sure you do it in the middle of the day, is all I'm trying to say. Don't do it when it's dawn or dusk. And especially don't do it if a lifeguard or a coast, someone who's been like keeping an eye on the water is like, hey, we have some high shark activity right now. And you're like, okay, sounds good. Not doing it. You look yummy, that shark. That's the thing, right? It thinks that you're a nice, tasty seal, especially with how big surfboards are too. Can you imagine? They see that in the water and they're like, oh yeah, let's go. I'm gonna take a bite out of that. And then they take a bite out of it and they're like, what is this? This is not what I was promised. I rolled my eyes back into my skull for this. So anyway, that was Animal Fact Corner from Yumie. You know what? Bromo is such a good point. Don't be a seal. Be a deer instead. Do a fun little dance. Break off your horns. Noko 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 dan. God, I'm so excited for that to come out. That has been memed to death ever since that trailer dropped, and I love it. It's so good. But yeah, I'm glad that was helpful. Y'all learned something about sharks and toads. Oh, okay, speaking of things that are not terrifying, at least not to like humans, maybe the local wildlife, they're terrifying. But yeah, we also at the aquarium got to see otters, which was super cool. And they were extremely adorable and they were very tired when we saw them, but we quietly took pictures and we like waved at them very quietly. We didn't want to disturb them. But they were still like just hanging out. There were two of them and they were super cute. This is one of them is on the move. He's looking for another place to lay down. And he eventually found the place to lay down. Look at his, oh my god, they're so cute. Look at his little snoot. Oh my god, they're so adorable. They're also so chonky. Like, they're big animals. Chonky, big, adorable animals that were just hanging out. It was funny because, there were like a couple of animal handlers that were like walking through the room and one of them had to open up a door and the otters like immediately perked up because they're like, oh, food? Is it time? And then they left and they're like, oh man, it's back to sleeping again. But yeah, no, they are extremely adorable. That's fair. Otters would be much scarier if several hundred of them were charging you down, rabid for your flesh. That would not be good. Boy on the prowl like Oji-san for a sleeping spot. It's true. They were, oh god, they're so cute. Crazy cute. But yeah, no, so there were two of them and then one of them split to go and get a different spot because he wanted his own little spot, and then the other one went and hung out and he was enjoying his spot by himself. But yeah, they were super cute. We took so many photos. The otter, indeed. Oh gosh, I don't know if you all can hear that, but I can hear the rain pounding down outside. Well, I don't think it's picking up on the mic, so we're fine. Woo! That's probably a good opportunity for me to check real quick. Do I have any more alerts? No. Okay. Sounds good. Just windy. And hopefully there's no hail. I don't want to have to deal with hail. Okay. Not good rain ASMR. That's the thing. If it wasn't like pounding down on the roof, it probably would be all right. I like the sound of rain, like gently falling, or like a little bit of rain, but it's so loud right now. Oh my god. I think the music is covering it up, so we're okay. Oh, I don't know. I I'm trying to think if otters do the tummy bash thing. I feel like they might. Because you've got like sea otters that will like, they'll get like, whatever it is that they're trying to eat, like various like mollusks and things like that, and they'll just smack them on rocks. Which is super cute. I think that these types of otters, like the freshwater otters, I think generally what they do, just from what I've seen, like looking through otter videos and documentaries and stuff, is they tend to go after fish, or they'll go after like soft-shelled crabs and things like that, so they don't need to bust them open, which is cool. It's awesome. Man, that's the thing. The otter does look so tired. They're just, they're enjoying their nice flat time. It's good. It's very, very good. And then of course I have to talk about the food. It has to be talked about. Bear and I went and checked out a bunch of food. It was great. There's a bunch of really tasty food in San Francisco, which was fantastic. So we went and checked out a bunch of things. I actually, this time, I got fancy, y'all. I was able to find some of the logos for some of these restaurants, which is amazing. So I just went and grabbed them. But the first place that we went to was New England Lobster Market and Eatery, which was really close to our hotel. We ended up getting a hotel that was right next to Offkai. So we weren't at the Offkai hotel, which was where like the convention and everything was, but we were like a 5-6 minute walk away from there. And right up the street from us was this fantastic seafood place. Oh my God. Oh, it was really good. I have missed this so much. There's some really nice things about living in the middle of the country, but I really miss good seafood and just being able to have it all the time. But this was a lobster roll, which was great. Big fan. It had some very nice seasoning on it with some mayonnaise and some salt and some pepper, and I put a little bit of lemon on it. It was really good. And then they also had handmade chips and slaw. Oh my God, it was really good. They had a bunch of raisins in it, which was really tasty. I don't know that I've had a lot of slaw that has raisins in it. Slaw is like cabbage that has like mayonnaise and some other random things that are thrown into it. And they threw in raisins, and I thought that was a great decision. Raisins are very tasty, so I think that was excellent. Also, the chips were fantastic. They were very tasty. Also, you can't see it, but in the background, there is a crab roll that Bear was eating. It was also very good. There's a lot of Dungeness crab that's right around this area, so a lot of restaurants will have Dungeness crab. And yeah, that was super good. That was fantastic. It's true, Isaac. It's raisin the flavor. Exactly. That's the thing. I would never have thought to put raisins in slaw, but I thought it was surprisingly good. I don't know. I was surprised. I thought it turned out very nicely. I don't know. They did a decent job seasoning the rest of it too. I feel like half the time when I eat slaw, like it just has mayonnaise in it. And there's nothing against mayonnaise, but like you gotta put other stuff in there. You gotta do other things. There's other things that are good. Oh, system philosophy. That is an excellent question. So yes, the Great Lakes and the Mississippi River do have fish, but it's very seasonal. So you're not going to have fish year round, and it's very, very specific types of fish that you can get. And a bunch of it is tasty, but I really miss, I miss crustaceans a lot. Like, we don't have any crabs. I don't know that there's crayfish around where I live either, and crayfish are nice. But yeah, the bears eat them all, exactly. Not this bear, though, unfortunately. Not Bear and Yumie. But yeah, there's a lot of catfish in my area, so like catfish tastes pretty good. One of the issues with catfish, though, is depending on how and like when you procure the fish. It can be really grassy, and it's not like that's bad, but I've had some particularly bad catfish before, and it's kind of burned me a little bit. It's like anytime I go to a restaurant and they're offering catfish, I kind of give it a side eye, and I'm like, did you mess up this catfish? Am I gonna take a bite into this and it's gonna taste like grass? Huh? I don't know. There's some good catfish. I've had good catfish, but man, that's also a good point. The food of the catfish can also change it, and they don't always have good food for them. But yeah, so I was very excited to have lobster and crab. I'm a big fan of crab. I think crab tastes extremely good. So yeah, very much excited for that. Yeah, catfish, when it's good and it's not grassy, it's pretty nice. It's a little savory, which is really tasty. It's also got like a lot of meat on it. So like a lot of places where I live will make like fish fillets or like fish and chips, which like fish and chips is just you fry the fish and then you have like some chips on the side with it. But yeah, and yes, no, those are potato chips, but they made them in-house, which is really cool. So like they peeled the potatoes and like fried the potatoes themselves, and they were so good. Oh my God, they were so tasty. Oh God, I imagine, Indonesian catfish I've heard is so good. It sounds so good. Yeah, it's kind of hit or miss, unfortunately, in my area. Some of the catfish tastes good, and then some of it does not, which is a shame. But yeah, I generally think salmon is pretty all right. I have had some mediocre salmon as well. It kind of depends on how it's prepared, because I feel like sometimes the salmon is good and sometimes it is not, and it is always a shame when that happens. But yeah, so nothing against river fish. In fact, if we had eels in our area, I would love that. I love eels a lot, and like river eels are really tasty, but we don't have river eels. I'm so sad. We just have catfish. The catfish are okay though. I should stop being up in arms about it. Yeah, exactly. Like salmon is great, but like, yeah, I think it's much better if you cook it yourself. Cause then you know like exactly what you want from it, which is really good. But yeah, exactly. Overcooked salmon is not great. I completely agree. So yeah, this was a very tasty first meal. Admittedly, it was a little spendier than we had hoped. Stuff is kind of expensive in San Francisco. So a lot of our meals were much more expensive than they might have been otherwise. But it was very tasty and I enjoyed it. Does Bear catch the salmon straight from the water? You know, he is much better at fishing than I am. Oh man. But yeah, it was extremely good. Oh, Sierra, you once had snow crab. It was heaven in your mouth. That's the thing, right? I feel like a lot of crab stuff is extremely tasty. Crab is so easy because like you can take it and just dunk it in butter, or like you can just put lemon on it and it's so good. It's so tasty. Oh, it's wonderful. He has that bear grip. Oh, y'all are so sweet. And yeah, that's the thing. I wasn't sure if I was going to the con, like physically for a long time. But at some point I hope to go back to San Francisco again. So y'all are more than welcome to recommend other restaurants, because I hope this isn't the only time that I go to San Francisco. You folks are very sweet. I appreciate it. Oh man. Okay, also inside of this lobster eatery, they had like some of the lobsters out for you to go and see, which was fantastic. And it was great because they have to, like in order to prevent them from attacking each other, because lobsters and crabs are horrible creatures and they will pull off each other's limbs if you don't stop them. Plus, if you like let their claws be free, they will try to end you. As someone who's had to work with crayfish before, if you give them any wiggle room with their claws, they will try to end you. They will try to like do all kinds of crazy things with their arms to like reach back and grab your hand and like squeeze the life out of it. It's horrible. So anyway, it's a good thing that they end up putting like rubber bands on them, is what I'm trying to say. They put rubber bands on their claws so that they don't open them and then try to murder you with them. But this one had this big, enormous claw, and it was missing part of it. So this one right in the middle, you can just see this enormous misshapen claw. I don't know if it got in a fight with another one, but it was just enormous. It was crazy. There was this really nice older woman who was also looking over the lobsters. And she and I were just looking at this one like, wow, look at that one. It's enormous. It's so, that claw is ridiculous. I guess they just decided that because it was missing part of the claw, they just didn't need to bother putting a rubber band over it. But it just made it even more freaky to look at. But yeah, no, exactly. He was working out. He just snapped the rubber band. Didn't skip sea gym day. Man, he does look like the boss, doesn't he? I guess you could say he was clawfish. Exactly. You know, I actually don't know if, like, with how big that is, that probably does mean that it's filled with more meat. I bet that would be tasty. I bet that would be extremely tasty. But yeah, so that was extremely fun. That was like our first day there. And then we also, so there's a bakery that's at the airport, but there's also one that's at the pier as well. And it's called Bowden Bakery. It's, if I'm being brutally honest, it's a bit of a tourist trap. There's a bunch of like food and it's all like reasonably tasty. But I'd say that there's better stuff that you can get. But because it's a touristy thing, we decided to go for it. And I got the sourdough turtle. He was very cute. And then I ate him. May he rest in peace. But yeah, unfortunately, I would say that Bowden is probably not worth, unless like you really are like looking for something to eat, like when you're in the airport and stuff. But there's much better like bread stuff that you can get in the city. He was not filled with anything. Oh, he was completely empty inside, just a sourdough boy. Rest in Yumie's stomach indeed. But yeah, no, I did fall for the tourist trap. That's the thing. It's one of those things that all of these like travel blogs and stuff, they're like, go to Bowden. And so we're like, okay, we'll go to Bowden. And then we tried it and we're like, man, that was okay. That was totally serviceable, but there's gotta be better stuff in the city. And guess what? There was much better stuff in the city. This cafe / bakery called B Patisserie is some of the best baked food that I have had. Oh my god, it was incredible. In fact, I loved it so much that you can see that I have almost completely demolished this Queen Amman. It was so good and I ate it almost before I could take a picture of it. So yeah. It was really good. Queen Amman is really good. And a lot of places don't make it because it's kind of annoying to make. You have to like do a bunch of folding with layers and there's a bunch of sugar and a bunch of butter that goes all over it. The chef named it a B, but Yumie gave it an A+. Exactly. That's just true though. It deserves an A+. It's fantastic. Oh no, Raz! Oh, that was the thing. I meant to give a warning at the beginning of this section and then I forgot. If you haven't eaten anything, you're probably going to get hungry looking at some of this. When I put these slides together earlier today, I was so hungry. I was just ravenous looking over this. I made sure to eat food right before this stream so that I wouldn't be super hungry. You got the food to eat and not to post online? I know, right? It's a travesty. But you know, I made it like most of the way through that Queen Amman and then I was like, oh wait, I was gonna take a picture of this because it was really beautiful. But yeah, you will unfortunately just have to imagine it because it's in my stomach now. It's very good. No, Topher, you wanting something crab or lobster? My apologies. It's great. It's good though. Crustaceans are really good. I'm a big fan of them. They're very tasty. Queen of Bond, more like Queen of Gone. That was just what happened to it. It was just gone almost immediately. Oh. They also had this very lovely croissant, which is very tasty. This cinnamon roll is like one of the best cinnamon rolls I've ever had. It was crazy good. I don't know what they did to it. They put tasty things on it and in it, and it was very good. And I just wanted to keep eating it. So that was fantastic. Oh, as far as my steak, I like my steak medium rare. I think that medium rare steak is great. It's fine if it's on the rarer side, but I want it to have some red or pink in it. If you want to be mentally scarred, I have some streams where I talk about food that I was given as a child, where it was fully cooked steak, which was horrible. Yeah, as long as it's not gray, I'm happy. I'm trying to remember. I think that full story, I think is a member stream, but I ended up talking a little bit about that during the April Fool's stream. So if you're interested, I have an April Fool's debut stream where a horrible entity invaded my channel and had horrible food takes. I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm sorry. I don't mean to take us back to that. My apologies. Getting back to the good food, the not gray steak. Anyway, they also had really good coffee, which is great. Generally, coffee I think is something that can be like really easy to like still make fairly tasty, even if it's cheaper. Obviously, like good coffee beans taste a lot better. But these folks were using good coffee beans and good like cream and things, which was great. So yeah, this cappuccino was fantastic. Big fan. It was also adorable. And then also, oh my God, they had a black sesame latte. Oh my God. That was amazing, y'all. That was so tasty. Oh, that was extremely good. I did not expect that it would taste that good, but it was incredible. Yeah, fantastic. Great coffee, great baked goods. It makes me want to go and find something like that in my neck of the woods, because that would be awesome. But yeah, no, I got a little heart in my cappuccino, which is so great. It was fantastic. I consumed it very quickly afterwards. I had to make sure to have like the lactate stuff, since it had a bunch of milk in it, but it was good. It was good. I didn't die afterwards, so that was nice. And then of course, y'all know, if I'm in an area and I know that they have good Chinese food, I'm going to go and try some of their Chinese food. So we went to a couple of restaurants. The first one we went to was a dim sum place, because again, if I find out that there's a dim sum place, I'm going to go and eat some dim sum. And it was extremely good. So they had this gailan, which is like Chinese broccoli. That's how I've seen it written in a lot of places. It's very tasty. It had, yeah, just a little bit of dressing on it, which was fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. Sky, a whole heart in your coffee. You should report them. You know, I suppose that's fair. I didn't think about it at the time, but having a whole heart in my coffee is just too much. It's just no good. But yeah, no, it's extremely tasty. So the gailan was great. Soup dumplings. Oh, soup dumplings are one of those things where like I've had some bad soup dumplings, but if they're like good soup dumplings, which are hard to pull off because it has a little bit of soup that's in the dumpling itself. So bad soup dumplings will like fall apart as soon as you try to pick them up. They'll just collapse, or like you'll just have a bad time eating them. But good soup dumplings, like you'll put it in a spoon and you can like make a little hole in it and then have some of the soup fill up in your spoon and you can sip at the soup and then you can put the whole soup dumpling in your mouth and it's extremely tasty. Yeah, no, they are so good. I am a big fan of soup dumplings. But yeah, if you've had like the other experience that I know a lot of folks have with soup dumplings is that if you just pick it up and you try to eat it without like letting it cool down a little bit or letting some of the soup out into your spoon, it's going to be really hot. Like there's hot soup that's inside of these dumplings. So the best thing to do is just like, you can use your chopsticks or like just make a little hole in the bottom and then it'll just like pour out into the spoon. And then you can do it in the side too. And then you can just slurp at the soup and then you can then eat it. And you won't burn yourself that way. It's also very pleasant just to slurp at the spoon. It's very nice. The soup is always good. But that's part of the experience. That's also true. If you're okay with burning yourself, just throw it in. Just throw it in your mouth. Oh man. But yeah, no, it's good. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Here's the things here. I love gyoza a lot. But I also love soup dumplings. I feel like it's more achievable to get like, like gyoza generally. But if you can actually get soup dumplings, oh, they're fantastic. They're so good. In addition to that, we also, it's kind of hard to see from this angle, but we got a barbecue pork bun, of course. Generally, dim sum places have really good pork buns, so picking those up is always nice. Plus, they're just so hearty. Like, you can have one of them, and it's so filling. It's great. And then we had a couple other dumplings. So we had some pork and shrimp shumai, as well as some mandarin dumplings, which these that we had, they were like shrimp. I'm trying to think what else was in them. They had some other herbs that were mixed in that were extremely tasty. It was fantastic. Oh my God, Sky, you went to a dim sum restaurant in China where they would hand make batches of dumplings in front of you, your coworker, and you ate 40. Man, that's just how to do it though, right? Like if you have the stomach for it and if they're making it in front of you, just eat as much as you can. Oh my God. Oh, God, that's incredible though. Oh. That sounds so good. That sounds absolutely incredible. There really is an Akari moment. Oh my God. Just sit and consume all of the dumplings forever. But yeah, no, all of this was very tasty. We also got some more pictures because we couldn't stop ordering things. So we got some sticky rice. This is unfortunately the best picture I got because we fell upon it very quickly and consumed it very quickly. Wait, no, 40 each? You mad lad. Not 40 total? You each had 40? Man, that is impressive levels of that's incredible levels of dumpling eating. That's incredible. Oh my God! That's amazing. How did you survive? How was your stomach after that? It's amazing. Oh man, that's actually true. I didn't think about that. This is Hunan, like Hunan style eggplant, which is kind of just a generic thing. Like if you look up Hunan eggplant, there's like a bunch of different recipes for it. But that was how it was described on the menu, as a Hunan eggplant. But that was also extremely good. I'm generally a really big fan of eggplants, and having them steamed and then soaked in sauce is extremely tasty. Sky moved organs around to make room for dumplings. Man, I mean, even if you hadn't eaten all day, like, that's crazy. That is incredible. That is an accomplishment. Eating 40 dumplings. You clearly survived that, so clearly it was worthwhile. That's just crazy. You know, I respect it. The making room for dumplings is the way to do it. I mean, it sounds like the dumplings were just that good at this point. Oh my God. Truly a snack. That's extremely true. You know, I suppose that's a fair point. If they just keep bringing you the dumplings, you'll just keep eating them. I guess that is just part of, like... Dumplings really are just that good. That's a fair point. Oh my god, Isaac, you had like 24? Man, I guess I've never actually tested that. I bet if I was given a bunch of dumplings, though, I would just continue eating them. I guess that's a fair point. I've never actually tested that. You know, that's actually a good point. If you get some green tea, you like have something to like wash it down, just hang out for a little while and just keep eating dumplings. You should make a snack game where Yumi eats dumplings and gets longer. Man, do you know what's terrible too? I would just get longer. It would just be my tail. I wouldn't get taller, which is unacceptable. If I could just keep eating dumplings forever and get taller, that would be amazing. God. Oh, I'm gonna have to try this at some point. I'm gonna just have to like continue to eat dumplings and see how many I can consume before I finally give up. It's probably gonna be a lot. Oh, that does sound like a great way to spend some time. All right, I'm gonna try this at some point. I'm just gonna eat a bunch of dumplings. Okay, so before I get distracted by thinking of consuming my body weight in dumplings, some other things that we ate, which were also extremely good. We had these crab claws, which again, there's a bunch of Dungeness crab that's right in that bay area. So a lot of places serve it and it's really good. Oh, these crab claws were fantastic. The thing that was like spectacular above all else though, these taro dumplings. Oh my God, y'all, I've never had this before. It was so crazy good. Oh my god, the most unassuming thing. They're just these cute little fried packets and you bite into it and it's just, oh, it's so good. It's so crazy good. Oh. So yeah, anyway, big fan of this dim sum place. Fantastic. Delicious and Dungeness crab. Y'all are my people. This is wonderful. It's fantastic. Oh, okay, Sky, to clarify, because I realized how crazy it sounds. We had climbed and walked for hours to see the Great Wall, so we were exhausted and hungry, and they had cold beer, and it was amazing. I don't think I could do it now. The fact that you did it at all, though, is kind of incredible, right? Like, my god. That's an accomplishment. That is an absolute accomplishment. You've inspired me to try and have a bunch of dumplings. I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere close to 40, but I think I will have entirely too many dumplings. Oh man, God. Dumplings with some cold beer sounds incredible though. God. I already had dinner. I can't be getting hungry again. Okay. All right, we're gonna move on. I'm probably just screwed. I'm probably just gonna be hungry now. Okay, this is fine though. And more food that we had. So closer to the hotel, there was this restaurant called Yuanbao Jiaozi, and they had like handmade noodles and handmade dumplings, which were amazing. So this beef noodle soup was really tasty. It was not as spicy as we were expecting. They had written on the menu that it was supposed to be very spicy, and I'd say it was okay. It wasn't like horribly spicy. I think it's perfectly edible for folks, even if they can't deal with a lot of spice. And then they also had a celery and peanut salad, which was very tasty. I was a big fan. Also, I appreciate y'all. Your belief in my ability to eat a bunch of dumplings is incredible. Oh man. I'll have to let you all know how many dumplings I can actually eat in one sitting. I don't know. I don't know how many I'll be able to do, but I'll let you folks know. Here's the thing. Okay, so we did a bunch of like moving around, and every single night we just like bam. Just like hit the bed super hard, super exhausted. Yeah. It was a lot of food and a lot of moving around and checking out the city. And I haven't even talked about the convention yet. We will actually get to that soon. But yeah, the handmade dumplings were so crazy good. We got pork, shrimp, chive, and egg dumplings that had chili oil over them. Oh my god, it was so good. Just thinking about it makes me hungry again. This sounds so good. So yeah, big fan. Oh, there's thunder. God damn it. Checking my phone. No alerts. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right. I can hear some thunder, but we are all righty. The other place we checked out that was close to the convention was another Chinese restaurant. No surprises there. That is called Wonderful. And man, that was extremely tasty. So they had some mapo, which I love a lot. Big fan. They make their own smoked pork. Like, they had an entire smoker just in the back of the restaurant where they make a bunch for like the day and they make some for the week. And they made a stir fry of it and it was so crazy good. Oh god, that's true. The thunder is happening because Thor is getting hungry. Oh man. And then they also had scallion pancakes, which were so beautiful. They looked so good and they were so tasty. Oh my god. They were these big fluffy pancakes. Oh, they were so tasty. We managed to make it through all but one of them before we completely collapsed. It's probably too much food, even for the two of us who just like open maw, put in tasty food, close, proceed. This was a lot of food. But yeah, no, this was absolutely fantastic. Oh, it was very, very good. Yeah, no, that's the thing. They do look so pretty. I had to watch Bear like pick one up and like get the courage to eat it myself because they do just look fantastic. You don't want to disturb them. But yeah, no, this place was fantastic. We got to try a bunch of really, really tasty Chinese food, which was wonderful. We also went to Chinatown, which was great. One thing I will mention about San Francisco, this is also a thing for a lot of the Pacific Northwest. It is very hilly. Like, there's a lot of hills everywhere. And I mean like really steep hills. You will have to do a lot of like climbing up of hills in order to get places. Chinatown is right in the middle of this hilly area, and I am horribly out of shape. But I still made it, and I still wandered around and got a bunch of tasty food. Honestly, as far as like recommendations with this sort of thing, just get whatever you want. There's so many street vendors everywhere. The things that we loved the most were street vendors that were selling sesame balls and egg tarts, because a bunch of people will make their own red bean paste and their own lotus seed paste. And so we had like a bunch of homemade stuff, which was super tasty. Oh my god, it was so good. So yeah, we got some egg tarts, some sesame balls, and I realized I didn't write this down, but we got some mooncakes as well that had homemade lotus seed paste, and it was really good. My favorite thing though were the sesame balls. They were really oily. I like oily sesame balls. I think they're really tasty. And the homemade red bean paste was so damn good. Oh my god. As I'm like dying on this hill, just slithering around, desperately trying to try out these street vendors, the sesame ball kept me going. I was just like eating it the whole time. But yeah, it was very good. But just be warned that it's got a lot of hills, and if you're very out of shape like I am, you will need to take lots of breaks and have some water. But yeah, it was good. It was very, very tasty. But yeah, and yeah, no, that's the thing. Whenever I go visit these places, like on the off chance that you all go and check these places out, I want to make sure to recommend the stuff that was really good. Cause like, I don't know, if you ever visit, then like you can know like, oh, Snake Lady really liked this place. I can go check this out, and this might be tasty. That being said, I also really appreciate you folks giving me more recommendations. I will always take food recommendations. Thank you for giving me some recommendations for some good, seafood sandwiches earlier. I appreciate that. I've written that down. Oh man. No, Isaac, after making so many mooncakes, does Bear critique them when he buys them? It's funny. So Bear generally, like, he will not like harshly critique food, more like try to learn from it. Like if there's a particular technique that he's like, oh, I see. It seems like they did this to get this texture. Or, you know, I like how I did this in this respect, but I think that they accomplished this in a different way. He did make so many mooncakes. Oh my God. Oh man, he's gonna do it again this year too. That, I don't know, that was a really cool thing. He ended up, bringing a bunch of those to his office, and it was really nice. He's got a bunch of coworkers who have immigrated over from China, as well as he has a couple of coworkers who are from Taiwan. And it was really nice because they were super excited. They were like really not expecting anyone to have like anything for the Lunar New Year, and yeah, he had a bunch of stuff, which was really nice. So that was really cool. He definitely got like big unintentional office points for that. And just like, he wanted to share a bunch of the stuff he had made. And it was cool. I don't know. I like that he was able to share stuff with folks and make it a really good celebration. Oh, it was nice. Okay, so of all of the things that we did in San Francisco, my biggest regret is we got to try so much good food. We didn't get to try any Latino food, and I'm devastated about this because, oh my God, there is so much good Latino food that is in San Francisco, and we did not make it down to southern San Francisco, and I'm so sad. We were going to go down there, and there's a bunch of like food trucks and other really tasty stuff. I know, it's horrible. That was one of the things that we wanted to do, and we didn't make it down there. There is a good reason for this. But it's devastating. Yeah, there's a lot of really good Latino food in San Francisco and like in a lot of California broadly, and we didn't get to try any, and I'm so sad because it's so, I don't know, there's some places that are good in the Midwest, but like not nearly as good as in California, man. Like the closer that you get to the Mexican border, the better the Latino food is, and it's just... I live too far away. I live too far away from the Mexican border. It's terrible. They really miss a lot of extremely good Latino food, and I'm very sad I wasn't able to have some. But that just means I have to go back again, and then I can have that. It's so over Latino bros. I know, it's terrible. I had so much Chinese food, and I didn't make it down south like I had hoped to. Yeah, that's the thing. Oh my God. I know y'all in Texas have such good, you all have such good food. You have some really good barbecue. You have some really good Latino food. I really want to go at some point. That would be fantastic. That'd be very good. But yeah. It's so snuck over, Latino bros. Time to pack it up. I know. I'm so sorry. It's terrible. We even, oh my God, we had such a nice, at one point, one of the only ways for us to like get into the main city was we had to take a cab. And oh my God, the cab driver was so awesome. He's just like, yeah, you should go to this place and check out this food and check out these things. And we ended up like going and checking out a bunch of his recommendations. And he's like, yeah, go down to the southern part of the city. Find some food trucks. You'll have really good food. And we weren't able to do it, which was super sad. It's devastating, y'all. But it's okay. I will make it back again at some point, and then I can go have more food. Exactly. I'll forget another kind of food, and then I'll return again and again. Exactly. The one food-related thing that we were really happy we were able to do was we went and got like hyper-specialized cafe food, I guess, is what it's hyper-specialized pastries, excuse me. It was really nice cafe, my son Nico, and they serve this incredible dish that's, oh God, I'm sorry for those of you who are French, pâté en croûte. My French has gotten a little rusty, so my apologies, I am butchering that horribly. But what this is it's a combination of really, really old-timey techniques with newer things, which is cool. So it's a pastry that's got a really thick dough on the outside, and then you've got a mixture of meat and herbs that are all preserved, and they're put on the inside, and then you end up having on top this gelatin layer that's really packed full of a bunch of really tasty herbs. And this thing is crazy good. Oh my god, it's the most wild thing I have consumed in a while, because you cut it so that you get a little cross section of everything, and then you go with little bites of it, and it tastes so good. It's fantastic. So yeah, this particular cafe is one of the only places that makes this, because it's crazy time intensive, and it is really difficult to actually accomplish, where you've got a nice dough layer that cooks correctly and doesn't burn, and you actually have a good distribution of meat and things like that. But yeah, no, it was really good. I was very surprised because I wasn't sure what to expect from it. But yeah, we had been looking at some cool places to check out, and this was one of the ones that Bear had found, and my god, it was great. It was really cool. So that was good, at least, even if I wasn't able to try out some other food, because it turns out we ended up getting a little busier than we expected going to the convention, which we have finally arrived at Offkai Expo. Oh boy. Okay. So, Offkai Expo. It is held in the Hyatt Regency, which is this enormous convention / hotel. So you've got like a bunch of hotel rooms that are all kind of around the outside, and the inside is a convention center. And that is super cool because it means that you can have a bunch of people stay directly at the same place where the convention is, which is really nice. It's really close to the San Francisco airport, so it has a shuttle that runs between it and the airport, which is awesome. It's also just really easy to get on a plane and show up here and then like get back on a plane and leave if you need to. So that's super cool. It's very conveniently located for that reason, which is awesome. I unfortunately wasn't able to get a whole lot of pictures of the inside of the building, so I've grabbed a couple of photos from some other folks who got really good photos. This is what this looks like inside. So Gunrun ended up taking this awesome photo of what the convention bit looks like. It's a couple of floors. So you've got this atrium area that's on kind of like the ground level. And then below that, you've got a bunch of convention meeting rooms, and there's like a vendor's hall and things like that, which is super cool. So this is what this all looks like inside. And then on the right, this is an official photo from Offkai Expo's Twitter. And this is what this is what the ticket line looked like. Needless to say, this year's convention was way bigger than any of their previous years. It was already a lot of folks that were trying to fit into this building, but I think this was way beyond their expectations because we had so many people. They even capped attendance, and the lines for certain events would still extend outside the building. This in particular I snagged off of Twitter from GigaVT, who posted a picture of the line for the concert on Saturday, which extended away from the convention center and down the block, which is crazy. When we were trying to get into the vendors hall, they would only allow 100 people in at a time. There were hundreds and hundreds of people that were all there at this convention, but only 100 of them could be in the vendor hall, like the place where you go and buy stuff. So there was always a line to get into the vendor hall, and it always stretched outside around the block in the sun. And again, remember, for one of the only times it was actually really sunny in San Francisco. So this meant that you would show up at the convention and go to like some of the meet and greets are like this. I know a couple panels extended outside too. And like you were suddenly outside in the sun. Because you could not fit inside. There was not enough room. And unfortunately, what this resulted in was a very burnt Yumi. I look much better now, which is good, but oh my god, I was very lobster-esque. I truly had become what I had eaten. The lobster came back. It struck back against me. I had sunscreen with me at every other point because I've told you folks, I can't go out in the sun for very long. I get burned really, really easily. So I have to put on sunscreen even if I'm outside for like 30 minutes. It's over. It's completely over. So during our entire time wandering around, going to see the sea lions, going to like slither around on the pier, going through the city, I had all this sunscreen. I was very careful. I would spend some time in the shade if I needed to. I'd reapply stuff. But I didn't think I needed it to go to the convention, so I didn't bring it because I was trying to travel light because I knew I was going to be buying some stuff, and so I was like, okay, I'll make sure that my bag is clear and I'll just have the absolute necessities, and that was wrong. It was the wrong decision because I had to stand outside, and despite Bear's best efforts to try and like, God, this poor man like tried to like shield me from the sun. He was like trying to stand in front of the sun to like block it, but it was right above us. It was the middle of the day. It was like noon to like 1 p.m. So there was only so much he could do. We tried to find shade, but it was too far away from the line. And so both of us burnt. Bear actually doesn't burn nearly as easily as I do, but the back of his neck is just, oh God, it's still burnt. It's so sad. From where he was trying to shield me from this sun. It's horrible. And I still got burnt, even despite that. So anyway, looking at you, Offkai. Maybe next year, get a bigger venue. There were too many people. There were too many people. Yumi is evolving. Yeah, that's the thing. This is my second form. My third form, maybe I'll be more resistant to the sun. That would be super cool. You could hide under his shirt. Man, that would have been great. I would have felt bad though. It would have been too warm. It was like pleasantly warm, but if I was like right next to him, I feel like that would have been too much. You could say Bear could bear with the sun. Man, see, that's the thing. I should have... I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to go places without my sunscreen if there's even a slight chance that I have to be outside. I have learned from my mistakes. Seer, thank you for the super chat. San Francisco, sunny. Is Koharu gonna get an A+ tomorrow? Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of wild. It was extremely good weather, but maybe too good because I got burned badly. And that's not to say, even if it was overcast, like you can still get burned, even if the sun is like not fully visible. Because the whole deal is that it's UV light that's coming through, and UV light doesn't care about clouds. It's still gonna come and hit you. It won't hit you like as badly, but it's still there. It's coming for you. Put on sunscreen still if you're going outside and it's overcast. But like especially put on sunscreen if it's really sunny. I agree, Companion Cube. Curse the glowing sky orb. It completely screwed me over. It was terrible. So yeah. So that was unfortunate, but besides the crazy long lines that were very unexpected, it was really fun besides that. This was once I actually got into the vendors hall. I'm not gonna have a lot of pictures of the inside of the convention besides what I showed you folks, because there were a lot of Vtubers that were there who didn't want you to take photos of them, which I think is super respectable. So I just didn't take a lot of photos. photos. This one was taken by the V-Oshi staff, and they made sure to like put stuff over people's faces, which was very good. But yeah, yes, and I am in the corner. This was when they were first setting up and my standee wasn't fully out yet. I have a better picture of that for y'all. But yeah, this was the booth. Oh, this was in the eastern area. They had this big area with a bunch of stuff. You can see a bunch of standees. We've got some body pillows in the back. We've got standees everywhere, like the big and the little ones. There's pins. There's some fun Oshi cards, which I'm going to show y'all more later. Yeah, which was super cool. And I also got to meet these folks in person, which was really cool. So I met the owner of V-Oshi, Kisaki Toriyama. Oh my god, she's so nice! Oh my god, she also gives the best hugs. Oh, when I first ran into her, she just leapt up and just wrapped me in this enormous hug. Oh my god, she was so sweet. Oh, she was fantastic. So yeah, she was awesome. It was really nice to actually meet her. She immediately was like, hit me up. We'll figure out more merch stuff. And I'm like, okay, let's go. So yeah, she was so nice. She was in cosplay both days too, which was fantastic. She was dressed up as Fuawa from Fuwamoko, which mad respect. Fantastic. super good. She was amazing. So yeah, that was fantastic. Yes, I give her 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10 for my hug review. Super fantastic. And then in addition to her, she also had some help from another VTuber who I got to meet in person, which was awesome. Chimeras is super nice. Oh my god. So Chimeras is actually the owner of a different business. It's called Tasty Peach. She makes a bunch of really adorable plushies, which are super crazy cute, but her and Kisaka are friends, and so she was there helping sell stuff, which was super awesome. She was also like kind of in cosplay as herself, which was great. Her hair was beautiful. Oh my god, I was really jealous. It looked super fantastic. And yeah, she was crazy nice, just like really personable. She was running a lot of the merch while Kisaka was getting all of the meet and greets and doing a bunch of other stuff behind the scenes. So yeah, they were both awesome. I loved both of them. Chimeras gave me her business card at the end and was like, yo, send me an email. We can talk about stuff. Whatever you want to know. We'll talk about like random things with like being self-employed and stuff, which I've always been very curious about, as well as like how to do merch stuff and sponsors and whatever. So that's super cool. I would love to know more about that. I have a vested interest in this. Cause yeah, it would be cool to do more with this channel with y'all. So that was awesome. So yeah, super cool. Both of these wonderful women were awesome. Big fans of both of them. And here it is. The actual Yumie standee. It exists. It is real. Absolutely fantastic. We took lots of pictures. You can tell the one that was taken by Bear. The one that looks like you're looking down. If that gives you a better perspective on things. So yeah, it was amazing. I don't know. I was really flustered when I actually saw this. It was really cool. Yeah, it was a 1-to-1 scale. It was actually my size, which was really cool. That was crazy. So yeah, that was awesome. I don't know. I think that's really cool that V-Oshi was able to do that, and I feel really lucky that I was able to actually have a standee. I think that's amazing. Yes, here our cult is evolving. Soon world domination. One snack at a time. We're slowly doing it. Slowly moving. The bounty hunters have a new target. Maybe this was my plan all along. I just had to make a standee. Make it exactly my size so it was more difficult to track me down. But yeah, so this is super cool. Super big fan. All the shoes will indeed be mine. I can't wear any of them, but I will collect them all. All of the shoes. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna compose myself a bit. But yeah, it was super cool. It's also really funny because a bunch of VTubers, I kind of forgot about this, but a bunch of VTubers, it's kind of a thing where people will put their size as being really short. And I know a lot of VTubers are actually short, but some folks are not. And so when I actually like saw my standee, I'm like, oh, I'm like roughly the same size as all of these people. I wonder, is everyone afflicted with the same shortness as I am? Because that's sad if that's the case. I'm sorry for everyone. My deepest condolences for everyone else who's also very short, and it sucks not being able to reach stuff on the top shelf. So yeah, this was super cool, absolutely incredible. And then this is what it looked like for the meet and greet. Oh my god. So yeah, they brought over my standee, and then there was a little tablet that had my face on it, and I was able to talk to people. I was back at the hotel at this point, so I don't know. I hope that my I hope my connection was okay. At times, like, the connection had some issues, but I had no idea if that was on, like, the convention center side or mine. But it worked out. It was fine. Oh, some of you are very quick to notice certain things in this picture. We will talk more about that later. A nice little hanging keychain. But yeah, this was incredible. I met such kind people. There were some folks who had watched my content before and who had a bunch of questions, which was awesome. Like things about content creation, about community building, and about just like, I don't know, like doing stuff that you enjoy doing. And then there was totally new people. Like there was this one guy who just rolled up and he's like, I don't know anything about you. I just think that your design looks awesome and you look really friendly. It was like, hell yeah, let's go. So yeah, I just like walked through like, well, I make extremely long videos. I talk about the lore of Blue Archive a lot. And then I stream a bunch of games and I get really excited about everything and I voice act through them. And he was like, oh my God, that's fantastic. That's exactly the type of thing I love watching. And I'm like, all right. Well, that worked out well. Awesome. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. So yeah. Man, y'all are so sweet. Oh my God. I'm glad that your first impression of me being very excitable has continued to be true. Totally not recruiting for the cult. Exactly. There's no cults around here. We just find them on stream a lot, just coincidentally. There's no need to be worrying about any sacrifices to the storm gods so that I don't have this terrible weather anymore. Welcome to my black hole. Leave your shoes at the door. You'll definitely get them back afterwards. I don't know what happened to them. What? Anyway, time to distract them from the shoes missing. Do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior, Pororo-sama? Oh man. Oh my God, Sierra, that's so nice. The level of cuteness Snack Lady is exuding should be legally considered an assassination attempt. I wouldn't survive a day at Offkai. Oh my God. Y'all are so nice. Good God, y'all are so sweet. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, so I don't know. It was really, really fun meeting folks, and I am so crazy excited to do more of these because I think that would be wonderful. So yeah, look forward to that in the future. There was a couple of conventions that I was keeping an eye on, and I think I missed the window to get into them, but I'm gonna still try. And then just like future stuff that'll be coming up, I'm just gonna do my best because I know a bunch of you folks live all over the place, and I want to do my best to actually meet you. I think that would be awesome. Oh, y'all are so nice. Thank you. God damn. I also, really quick, I realize I'm running up onto the other stream. I knew I was gonna run too long. I'm gonna try to get through this in 15 minutes. I go on such long tangents. But here's my merch haul. I tried to actually like contain myself because I bought entirely too much at Anime NYC. And I think I accomplished my goal. I didn't buy nearly as much stuff this time. I still bought some things though. Which was good. The first piece of loot that you already have seen as our wonderful Mr. Sea Lion, Sea Brian. He's just hanging out, being angry over here. But yeah, this Arona print though, oh my god, I lost it. Capon is the artist who was selling this. He was super nice. He also had a couple of like smaller blue archive standees, and I so desperately hope that he ends up listing them on his online shop. If he does, I will like promote that to you folks so that you can check it out because they're all super cute. There was a Seiya one, like a Seiya standee, which was so cute. There was an Arona one, there was a Nagisa one. All of them were fantastic. But yeah, this is just going to be like decorating the walls of my office now. It's perfect. It's such a good print. Oh my god. It's absolutely gorgeous. So anyway, that was my favorite print that I saw out of everything. I was trying really hard to like only pick like 1 or 2 prints because I have entirely too many that I already need to frame. But this one I had to buy it because it's just too perfect. Oh god. Oh, y'all are so sweet. I'm so glad that y'all enjoyed the lore archive. That's wonderful. Oh, that makes me so happy to hear. Fantastic. Good. Okay. Perfect. God damn it, Seer. I'm guessing the Seiya standee didn't have a VA. Nope. Unfortunately. God, at some point we're gonna get a VA for her on the Japanese and global server. I also stopped by the booth of Pokey Pokums, who is an artist Vtuber who is awesome. I have never been at a convention where she was at, and I am so happy that I finally was able to meet her. She's so nice. Oh my god. Absolutely fantastic. She makes such good art. I really wanted to get both a Doki and a mint charm, but unfortunately all the mint ones were gone, which, you know, I respect that grind. Whoever went and bought a bunch of those, I respect that. But unfortunately that meant that I wasn't able to grab it. But I did get the Doki one, and then I got these really cute standees of Korone and Marine. Oh my god, I had such a hard time picking. There was this whole summer collection that she had, and they were all so good. Oh, so good. It was really hard to pick which ones to get, so I ended up going with these ones. And they're sitting on my desk now. I'm looking over at them. They look fantastic. Oh, it was very good. And then I also went to Kaivyo's booth. It was technically like the Galea studio booth. They do like a lot of animation and lore video stuff, but they also had an actual gachapon machine where you could insert tokens like after paying for them, and then you would get a chance at like one of these super adorable standees. And I got the best one! Where they're all stacked on top of each other. Oh my god. The unrelatable streamer luck strikes again. I know, for real. Oh my god. Kay was also super nice. Oh my god. She's so cool. I don't know. She's just a really cool person. I've really wanted to commission her for a while. I've kind of been like keeping an eye on her commission queue. So hopefully at some point I can actually reach out because I would like to commission an animation from her. I think that would be super cool. And it was awesome to actually meet her in person. She was super cool. All of them at the booth were, but I got to talk to her personally because I did the gachapon for her original character, which was awesome. Bear really has blessed me. It's wonderful. I'm finally getting some good gacha luck after all this time. I also bought this adorable little Sakura rabbit from Jellyfish. This was my compromise to myself because they had a bunch of really cute clothing and I wanted to buy all of it, but that would have been too much. And so instead I bought this so that I would remember them and that this could sit on my desk and that I could buy the clothes later. This was the compromise to myself, is I'd buy the cute little stuffed animal and then I would remember them and I could go and buy stuff later. And that would be fantastic. Oh, okay. And then the last big thing. One of the sponsors for Offkai is a trading card game called Grand Archive. And Bear and I enjoy card games and board games quite a bit. So, of course, we were interested in checking this out. While I was trying to make my way back into the vendor's hall on the second day, Bear ended up going and learning how to play Grand Archive. Grand, definitely not Blue Archive. And yeah, he really enjoyed it. So he picked up a couple of starter decks. They were fairly cheap, so he brought those back. We played those yesterday, and oh no, they're very adorable. The art is very cute. The gameplay is very like big, having fun, like I'm a kid again energy. Which I'm always a big fan of. I need to show you all some of the art from this. So this was the character who I liked the most, Sylvie. She's a beast tamer. And all of her cards are so crazy adorable. So yeah, we got Smack with Flute is one of her cards, which is so dang funny. Look at this, she's just smacking the slime. So good. She also has like an upgraded form that you can buy, which is Sylvie, Slime Sovereign. And it's so great. There's so many details in the art for this. Her flute is just stuck in one of the slimes. There's a chipmunk that's getting consumed by a slime. There's a slime that's trying to avoid a bird. It's incredible. Oh, and no Omnia. We haven't had any luck getting signature foils yet. I think if we actually buy like a booster box, we might have better luck with that. I don't know that they would include any of those in like the starter decks, as cool as that would be, because the signature foils are so cool. They're crazy expensive, but they look very cool. And then I needed to show you all the Slime King. Look at how regal he looks. Look at that glorious staff. Oh my god. He looks so good. He's got a cute little crown. He's got a little cape, like a gossamer cape that he's wearing. Oh, it's beautiful. It's so good. Wait, Omnia, is that true? The starters do have a chance? Well, we got unlucky then. We didn't see anything. That's crazy though. I didn't know that. Wow. Dang. Yeah, no, all of the like specialty cards are really gorgeous. They're like full art and they'll have the signature of the artist with them. I ended up looking up a bunch of cards for this game afterwards because they're so cute. Look at this. Look at this, y'all. Look at these slimes. Oh my god, the art in this game is so good. You know, that is very fair. He's not as majestic as Pororo-sama, but he's close. And that's impressive because Pororo-sama is extremely majestic. But the art in this game is just killing me. It's so adorable. I don't know, it's just got like really, it's got the right amount of anime energy. While just having really talented people behind it. Oh, it's wonderful. I already play entirely too many card games. But this game was really fun. I was very surprised by this. I guess like the sweaty card games that I play are Magic the Gathering and Flesh and Blood. Those are the card games where I like get really serious and build decks that will actually do really powerful things. Whereas like One Piece, which we ended up picking up at Anime NYC, it's kind of funny actually. The last two conventions I've gone to, I've picked up a card game at each of them. One Piece had that same like I'm a kid again energy where you're just having fun with it. Like the stakes are really low. You can just have fun, do Smash. which is incredible. And Grand Archive was very similar to that, which was awesome. And yes, oh my god, I have wanted to check out Digimon. I've also heard it's super fun. If I had infinite time, I would just play entirely too many games. But yeah, I thought Grand Archive was a bunch of fun. I was very surprised by that. So I figured I'd shout that out because I was very surprised, pleasantly. It was nice. And I'm excited to play some more of it. I'm probably gonna build this Sylvie Slime deck because it's extremely adorable. As far as, oh god, colors and magic. So I play a lot of Legacy. And you kind of just play whatever you want in Legacy. I tend to play things that have green in it, though, if I had to pick one color. I tend to play green decks. They'll often be like a combo, though. So like I do have a commander deck that's Gishoth, so like Naya colors. But I also have like a lands deck for Legacy and some other stuff, which is fun. It's very, very good. Indeed. Green for the snakes. Indeed. Yeah, Merit Lodge and Big Mom Emrakruel. Indeed. Indeed. I do like my Stompy decks. They're very fun. Okay. Oh man, I've actually managed to do this. I have like 3 minutes before the next stream. Hold on, I'm gonna go. Some people are waiting. I'm going to very quickly change my pinned comment. Unpin. I'm finishing up my stream before this, so I'll be there soon. Okay. Awesome. Alrighty. Okay. So this just leaves one more thing, which you all very astutely noticed. There is an interesting looking keychain that was hanging off of the meet and greet tablet. This is a keychain that has not existed prior to this point. Because you all were so insanely kind with picking up merch, which was so incredible, I actually went ahead and got some more in the works. I have a double-sided acrylic charm, which will be something that I'll start stocking on the V-Oshi store. There'll only be a couple at first, but I can get some more stocked shortly after that, which is awesome. So no pressure there. I know that shipping is expensive for a lot of you folks, so like this is one of those items that won't be like a pre-order, it'll just be like on demand essentially. So like as they get sold out, I can always just stock some more. So yeah, I think that's awesome. So the first run of that was actually at Offkai, which is crazy. I figured that I'd do something fun to celebrate for that. And then in addition to that, I also will have Oshi cards. Oh, you know what, Isaac? I'll actually ask if it's something that they can add to the pre-order. It's not currently available online as of yet because poor Kisaka is trying to like recover from Offkai. But yeah, I can ask about that. And no pressure at all. Like these should just be available like on the store whenever you folks want to grab them, and I can just stock some more. These are like smaller items that were much easier for me to stock a little bit, especially knowing that you folks have been interested in merch. Because having to like grab a bunch of items without knowing how popular certain things will be, it can be kind of risky. So we did this first one as a pre-order, and I can actually like stock some stuff regularly now, which is super cool. I think that's awesome. Oh my god, y'all are so what? Y'all are so kind. Thank you. Oh my god. Okay, so Oshi cards are super cool. It's a thing that V-Oshi does, and I love them to death. So this is what they actually look like. I was able to pick this up from the V-Oshi booth at Offkai, which was awesome. And they're super cool. They come in this little protective case, and you can clip them to a badge or a lanyard if you go to a convention, or if you just like want to show off. If you want to show off the Yumie card, it says Generation 2 on it because it's part of like the second generation of these Oshi cards, which is awesome. And it's super cool because if you do go to conventions, you can flip it over on the backside and that QR code goes back to my channel. So like if you are walking around and you're like, yo, you would like Yumie, here. Scan this. You don't have to do that. You can also just like have the card. It's got like a cute little description on the front and it's got my face on it and everything. Oh, that's a good question. Can you play them in a card game? You might be able to. Oh man, but yeah, it's super cool. So I think these are awesome. I got some of these ordered, so these will both be available online, and look forward to more things soon. I think it will be super, super cool. Yumie scamming her viewers into being walking ads. That's the thing though, I would totally, I don't know, I think these cards are awesome. It's fun to like show off to people and stuff, so I don't know, I think that will be good. So yeah, but definitely, oh, that's weird. Chibinoko just kind of showed up there at the end. Huh, I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe something to think about. Something that I might be trying to work on for future merch. I'm sure it's nothing too crazy. But yes, there is international shipping for all of this stuff. So the pre-order period for my first set of merch just ended, but what I will try to do is I'll try to stock some more of that for you folks too, which would be super cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It'll be awesome. So anyway, thank you all so much. I'm sorry, we're running over. I have to hop over to the watch along. But yeah, I will ask. I'm not sure exactly when this stuff will get added to the online shop, but as soon as it does, I'll let you folks know. And I'll see if it's possible to add it to the pre-orders, if they can like delay shipping on it for you folks, because that would be super cool. It was unexpected that I was able to get this stuff out so soon. But yeah, also no pressure, like these will just be in the shop whenever you want to pick them up. So yeah, it'll be good. I think that's a good idea. I do need to rehydrate. I haven't had anything to drink for like 2 hours. Oh no. Okay, all right. I'm gonna cut this off real quick because I've got to get over to the other stream. But y'all take care of yourselves. Be well. And yeah, I will see you all very soon. Some of you I'll see extremely soon for the watch along. Bye. I'm probably gonna cut this off pretty quick too so I can hop over to that one. Farewell, everyone. Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!